Okay, Baksha pick up here. Echo, Novaria. Oh, yeah. Oh, Eve.
Whoa.
All right.
Debut.
She's back.
She back.
All right, there's a murmur
Yeah.
down the grapevine of a burst Eve build
Yeah.
going around.
This is the response, classic response to Faramis comps and Bruno comps. So if I'm Blacklist, they could even consider picking up a utility type of roamer for Haji if they want to. Because, again, we saw the really good matchup between the Arlott and the Yuzhong. But no, Benedetta is what they go for. Okay.
They're going to cut right through that box.
Yeah. Dive it. Petrify that Eve.
Amazing.
Great decision by Blacklist to go for the Ben instead.
Echo rolling out like the TVA, teleporting these time boxes all around the land of Dawn. But
What's a TVA? TVA?
the TVA.
TVA.
That's right.
What's that?
I forgot what the acronym means. It's from that show Loki.
Oh.
On Netflix.
The Time
Variation Authority.
Yeah, Time Variation Authority.
That's the one. That's the one.
Good to know. Good to know.
All right, here we go. Game 3. Gloves are off. No holds barred. Blacklist are just playing for style points, honestly.
Yep.
And they're also denying Echo, again, the no play-ins route, which is, again, very, very elusive, very much valuable. Looking at these lineups, I'll tell you, that Eve debut, it's not as bad as the Rome Angela. In my books, I actually like this.
Yeah. I'm glad the Eve pops up here, but you guys watching once again, you can let us know who is going to win the series for a chance at the 1,000 diamonds. 4 winners. Hashtag BLCK for Blacklist. Hashtag Echo. Don't forget your user IDs and your server IDs as well.
We need to see the emblems that we have, or at least the talents that they went for. Okay, concussive blast there by JP. Faster wave clears. 2 concussive blasts on this Baksha and Chip, which I like. Means Echo can be a little bit more aggressive early on with their lineup, or already they can be aggressive, just magnified with those little bursts of magic damage that you can dish out. 2 lethal ignitions on the side of Blacklist International. So their version of a little bit of aggressive poking as well. So you're seeing here the adjustments dealt from the Eve with her first skill now being able to clear minion waves a little bit quicker and better. So laning-wise for an Eve, not that much of a nightmare anymore. You can see how fast Sanji's clearing, but the cost is mana. He'll frequently have to go back to base to get mana back.
You know, now that we've seen the Farsa pop up again, now we see Eve. Hey, you know, I feel like we're going back in time ourselves.
It just shows how healthy the metagame is. The fact that teams are willing to experiment, the fact that teams are so unpredictable. Wait, here we go.
Sensui gonna get knocked up a little bit, has the backer from Yue, but not gonna be enough as he goes down to the first blood. Edward as well. Cuts in, cuts out. Haji, though, gonna flicker forward. Goes in with vengeance, looking for Carl. TZ next. A flicker from Yue, drags him back with Stampede. Picks up the kill as well. Blacklist fights back.
That's a twofer. Thank you very much, says Blacklist International. Echo walking into that one, which jeopardizes their turtle take.
Yeah. And if people are wondering where Sanji was in that fight, as an Eve in this scenario, bro, him going there would be useless. Now that he's level 4, he'll have a little bit more use for Echo, like this.
Drops down the box on Edward's head here, goes in, cuts out, will survive. Sensui grabbing the turtle.
Interesting positioning by Carl TZ. Y'all saw that.
Yeah, I thought he'd be using the shield unity. Maybe it was on cooldown. Get a little bit closer.
Once bitten, twice shy, unless he was thinking ahead. Where did he use the retribution on just now? The Little Wanderer?
Yeah, it looks like he just used the... But
just now it came...
Yeah, just now.
It was definitely fresh off when the turtle came up, and he was so far from the turtle too.
All right, that'll be a head scratcher for a while. So let's look at what else Echo can do in the map to be able to get this back. See JP utilizing Y walk to rotate a little bit faster.
Yep, which is on a 20-second cooldown now fixed, so he can actually time his rotations.
Yes, and Echo would want to, if I had any word at all of what Echo would want to do, well, focus on the gold lane because he can leave the Yuzhong and the Benedetta alone and then just make sure that the Bruno stops scaling and your Harith scales faster.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, down in the bottom lane, though. Carl T's going to crash down. Looking for 2. RWM on top of it as well, all under the turret. Edward there to help out in the fight. No one dropping just yet. Sanford will get away for now, but Edward still on the hunt. Will finally get the kill. Meanwhile, in the jungle, it's Benny Cutie to fall on top of it.
Just about a minute ago, it was Carl TZ was a little too far off. Now, underneath tier 1 gold lane, Echo seems to be a little in too deep. What's going on?
Edwards Becky under the turret, goes in with the final slash and is looking for more. Finally gets taken down, but they lose 2 for Echo.
Bro, Edwards Benedetta right now has been playing this so well. It's like the confidence boost knowing that, all right, they're playing up against a lineup that I'm going to shine with. He's up, I'm up against an Eve. Totally fine with me. That's food. Just use one electro final blow petrify, or even just save the petrify for later on. He's been winning duels 3v1, 2v1, and being able to set things up for Blacklist International in terms of getting the vision and the aggressive rotations.
It's going to be difficult for Echo to climb out of this 2,000 gold lead early on, 4 minutes in. Second turtle up, the dance all ready. It's about 4 members apiece. Turtle at half health.
Well, see how they go with it. JP dropping down the shortcut, waiting for the rest of the squad to come in. We're going to drive them further back. Yue has to flicker out. There's another realm. Benny Cutie now joining the fight. The final slash, though. He goes. Yue takes out JP. Edward on the run. They're still going to be looking for more. Yue on the backside. Carl Tizia hit away. Edward goes in, finds the slash, gets another. Sanford will fall. Echo is dismantled. Sanji has to run, and now Blacklist will take the turtle.
Team fighting excellence on display from Blacklist International. There's a reason why they call this Blacklist iteration the most aggressive yet. They've won team fight after team fight after team fight and secured 2 turtles 5 minutes in.
Oh my god, we were just gushing over how Edwards been playing so well with this Benedetta, and he pulled it off again. But that was a great response by Blacklist International to that team fight. Incredibly unfortunate timing. The moment Benny Cutie said, all right, I'm gonna hop into this portal, finally join in the fight, he gets final slashed back. Even though Echo were fighting really well under that Zaman force, and it looked like they could have been able to survive, again, the difference was they couldn't catch that Benedetta.
And the fact that they were trying to chase something that was so elusive allowed for Blacklist to just blast them. Again, it's the fact of target acquisition being so easy for Blacklist and for Echo being so difficult made that huge gap, and that's what we're looking at right now. 5,000 gold ahead in under 6 minutes, just about 5,000 as well. So 1,000 per minute.
Man, Yue's timing as well in the Netherrealm, really changing a lot of these fights already early on, because when Echo thinks they find their window to go in, even with the shortcut from JP, he's there. And also, just like you mentioned, Haji, man, what a game to be able to find these angles on the final slashes.
Yeah, and again, that's what we were talking about. The lineup of Blacklist, even though we haven't seen that big turnaround shortcut play from Echo, it's just that these 3 picks that they prioritize, the Fredrin, Arlott, and Faramis, are heroes that can handle the entry of the opposing team with a shortcut.
Are we going to get the flicker down now? Still fighting now under the turret. Tier 1 has to go down. Carl Tizia on the backside alongside Sanford. Zaman Force going to be dropped, so he's finally going to fall. Still battling now here. Still call on Haji. Haji still alive. Bobs and waves out. Tries to get out of there, but he finally gets taken down. That's 2 that fall for Blacklist. A double for Carl Tizia.
Echo's first team fight won clearly here in the 7-minute match. And so far, Edwards just made the most of that absence, taking a tier 2.
Aggression by Blacklist, but Echo there, it looked like they were just, it's like they said, guys, we need something. We need to get something before this first turtle, and they got it. 2 kills, but still the gap is significant this early into the game, favoring Blacklist International. A massive swing by Echo wouldn't be surprising, but it would be risky.
I mean, it's going to be tough. Sanford not having his Black Dragon form at the time of turtle spawning allows for Blacklist to take it again, 100% so far in game number 3. And right now, I believe that the best practice for Echo would be to just look for something else off the map. Do not go into a fight against Blacklist. You're still outgunned, despite damage difference being this much for Benny. Again, the results don't say so. Collapse.
Okay, there's the shortcut. Oh, everybody coming through into the Netherrealm. They go. RWO going to be dropped as well. Oheb going to fall. Edward goes in with Electro final blow. And we'll find it. JP still battling it out. Sensui joining the fight, trying to hold down the front of the side. They get the stun down, but Carl Tizia now falls as well. 2 for 1 so far. Make it another, and 3 down for Echo.
Oh, so many tanky members on the side of Blacklist. the long team fight sustain that they have, that even though this Harith, just with the Feather of Heaven and Starlium's Scythe is already dealing respectable damage because of the lead Blacklist has, even though Echo, they made the right call. It's just unfortunate they couldn't take down the members of Blacklist. So now, Echo, for the next few minutes, can't do that. They have to be more patient with who they try to take down.
Oh, and now Carl TZ threading the needle. Again, at the time of that engage, 5,000 gold ahead. It's like Echo tried to jump scare a full-on Marine.
Yeah.
A Marine armed with a minigun, 2 pistols, and a bayonet knife. Like, why would you do that? I mean, yes, you might just, but he is going to retaliate, and that's what Blacklist did.
Yeah. Even though Echo got Oheb down, they got the gold laner down. At what cost, then is the question. And the cost was too high, and Echo paid the price. How else they can turn this around again with the lineup that they're up against? It's going to be tough for the Orcas. And Blacklist might just be riding into a reverse sweep. But still too early to tell, but they do have the lead. Even at this point, too risky to contest this first Lord.
Blacklist starting to dance. Positioning-wise, you can never discount Echo. Again, they have JP in the vicinity, playing around with his passive. Carl TZ as well in range. Oheb clearing these waves. I think Blacklist knows that anytime, anywhere, Echo might just pop up. That's why they're also very, very cautious when it comes to this Lord take.
See how they play around this, still taking their time. Haji gonna find them out here. JP and Carl TZ, obviously, while the rest of Echo making their way down bottom again. They might be looking for Haji. There's the final slash. They want to initiate the fight. Into the back line he goes, looking for this Lord fight to break out. RWM gonna drop down as well into the Zaman Force. NetherRealm already gonna be expended.
Whoa, really?
Blacklist on the run, it looks like here. Now Haji though, and Carl TZ will get the Lord, and they find Edward as well. The trade, and now UA goes in with the stampede. They get Benny Cutie, they get another one. Oheb looking for more, he's happy with the triple.
That was a Pyrrhic victory from Echo. It cost them a lot, but they got what they wanted. Lord scored by the Orcas.
Oh, Echo. Again, the question haunts them. At what cost? Yes, they got the Lord, as you mentioned, Leo, but Yue and Oheb chasing down the members of Echo alongside Sensui. What a call there by Blacklist to say we can still punish this. If we let them go back and go home, they can push out. And Blacklist are still smothering Echo. Look at the difference between the two gold laners. Massive lead still for the Bruno, almost 2,000 and still climbing. And the real-time win rate climbing as well for Blacklist, 64 over Echo's 36.
Truth be told, I don't blame Echo with the way they've been playing the past few minutes. Again, one of their main strengths is the shock value. The fact that you can engage when most other lineups and teams would dare not to. And the fact that they got away with a Lord take despite losing the trade. And again, I would reckon netting negative on that Lord here just now. I think it's what they should have done because again, at least they're not staring down 7K. This could have been 7K ahead at 12 minutes. But because of what they did and the way that they've been playing so far, it's just barely 5, which is far from good. I'll tell you now, it's far from good. But at least it's allowing for them to be competitive. It's allowing for them to still have Blacklist respect what they're doing.
Even when you saw that fight unfold before, Lord was even secured, you saw that Echo still has good fighting power.
Yeah.
And it's only going to continue to scale as the game goes on. So we'll see. It is a 5K gold lead for Blacklist International, but that's what I'm talking about. As the items come in, there's the Holy Crystal for Benny Cutie. It's going to help.
Yeah, it's going to be a big spike. And there was something mentioned earlier. The combination of the Zaman Force plus the real-world manipulation is something Blacklist will have to respect. Considering that Sanji just built up the Blood Wings, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to take down this Eve. Not the power spike just yet that they're looking for, but the thing with Eve is since she continuously deals damage, the fact that now she also has a Glowing Wand up against the tanky members of Blacklist International. And don't forget, Glowing Wand is like DHS, but for magic users.
With damage over time.
With damage over time. So Sanji has the items that he has. He just needs to somehow blend everything really well with the rest of Echo, and Echo will need some really great teamwork to just layer their ability so well, their ultimate so well, that the NetherRealm will feel like an afterthought. But Yu has been so good.
Which I think is the icing on the cake. The fact that they're surprising Blacklist might be what enables that. It's clear that that's what they want to do. Sword in the box. That's what they want to do. But will Blacklist allow it? If they get the entry, if Echo gets it in, then maybe they can shock Blacklist into submission. Now, Lord spawned already. Lower quarter of the map. Teams have all of their battle spells, all of their ults. So now it's just a matter of managing their waves. Echo needs to clear out these crashing minions. That's why Blacklist is able to start it up already. Lord, a fourth of its health gone.
Making quick work of this Lord here. They do have the shortcut available. JP kind of just holding on to that, but Echo going to rotate themselves after dealing with the waves. Holding on to that Lord, less than half health. Blacklist International knows as well. There's the reset, though.
And you see how Blacklist are actually positioning themselves against that beacon where Yue is nearby. They're also watching out for a flank, which is why it's hard for JP to flank it, because that's a Faramis. Yes, you can say that the Faramis you can burst down quickly, but that's going to be the Nether Realm still available for them. So great positioning by Blacklist to deal with this chip.
Lord at a tenth of its health. Here we go.
There's the final slash initiating the fight. Sanford just can't do anything. Gets deleted. Edward jumps in with a lethal final blow. Sensui will secure the Lord. Carl TZ on the run. Sanji there to keep them at bay. But the objective secured by Blacklist.
Carl TZ forced to use that retribution early. You heard that sound. And once that retribution was dealt, there was only less than around 500 HP for it, and that was free for Sensui.
He was a level down.
Yeah.
The retribution diff between these two heroes at this point. And now Blacklist barreling on through. They're going to take this mid inhibitor.
They'll get that mid inhibitor. Lord making its way up top. We'll see if they can fully expose the base here of Echo. They're trying to hold it up front. There's the charge coming through.
Yeah.
Now for Blacklist. What more do they want?
Great high ground defense for Echo, though.
Yep. I think they're going to go ahead and probably not force the fight unless it's really Haji that actually wants to, but they're going to take that discipline route now, ballooning the lead 9,000 ahead.
Safe for Blacklist to just let this go. That's a huge take off of just a single Lord to be able to push down and penetrate mid and top. So they're happy to wait for this third Lord now, spawning lower quarter once more.
All right. So Enchanted Talisman was the fourth item that the Eve eventually went for. That was an Ice Queen wand at first, 3, so 4. So you're still... He chased the cooldown reduction, but he still doesn't have that big power spike that you'd want from an Eve. Let's see if it's going to be a Divine Flavor or a Holy Crystal last rim. Edward can afford to do this as a Benedetta. And this Benedetta that's rocking damage items purely. He has a Rose Gold Meteor for him, and that's why he's also has a little bit of that sustain, that tankiness from the magic damage being dealt out. But majority of what he brought out to the table is pure damage. Hunter Strike, Sea Halberd, Malefic Roar for Edward.
It's tough to be Echo right now. It's because it's so clear that their cores are dealing magic damage.
Yeah.
So as long as Blacklist build their Radiant Armors, their Athena Shields,
Yes.
Bob's your uncle, man.
Yep.
Great gold benefit for the House of Black this time around. 4K ahead because of that push, that mid and top lane inhibitor. As for Echo, you're looking at damage from all sorts, man. Yue alone is capable of so much burst, right? And then you're looking at Oheb and Edward dealing the physical. It's difficult. That's why they've been winning all these long, sustained fights.
Yeah, it's a great mix, is basically what Blacklist has here. You know, given the whole situation, as Blacklist International gets in position for this next Lord in 30 seconds, the one great thing that Echo can pull off is utilizing that box that they have. But so far, so well, Blacklist has dealt with it really well. I mean, they might lose the Netherrealm quickly, but they clash down really fast on Echo. You saw how fast Sanford went down earlier.
Okay, again, that was unfortunate that they found Sanford first.
Yeah.
But what if it is a fair 5v5, right? What if it's a 5v5 that both teams were ready for? We haven't seen that quite just yet. But since the last time we saw that, it was just about 4,000, 5,000 between. Now at 8, at 1745, oh, this is tough. Lord already in.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough to get the idea of a true idea of the fair 5v5. Because there's a Benedetta on the side of Blacklist International that can just cut through the formation of Echo. And you're probably thinking, but Echo has to use but they don't have the Netherrealm. That is why Echo, in terms of the team fighting here, it's never going to be truly quote-unquote fair for them. They just have two heroes that swing the team fights favoring Blacklist International that they have to face against. So Sanji, we saw, even though he positions really well, he's dealt the most damage this game with 61,000 and climbing. it's still gonna be tough for him. And you see him, he's like, oh man, is this gonna be a good spot for me? Where do I go?
Yep.
He has so much to watch out for.
JP cheekily going into that bush here. Gonna wait patiently. It does have that shortcut available, but they'll let Blacklist for now hold down the Lord. They know they have to clear the lanes as well. That's Benny Cutie's job. And for now, it's Blacklist International containing this one.
Which makes it all the more difficult for Echo. They have to control the long lane, make sure they don't get backdoored, they don't get ruined by random minions. Lord Dance still continuing. Lord, 3/5 of its health up. Sensui deep into the pit. Sanji and JP controlling these corners, these flanks.
Yeah.
Blacklist letting go of neither side. Massive control by the Codebreakers.
Yeah, look how they adjusted their positioning. You and Edward going forward from the wings. This is great positioning right now by Blacklist. And that's why Echo cannot find an opening.
Oh, Sanji can't poke though. He can check, but all he knows is Haji's gonna be there, and that doesn't change the fact because the only one purify on their side is Benny Cutie, and he wants to use that for when they eventually collapse.
Yeah, and you're probably wondering, why isn't Echo pulling the trigger? They're close enough in terms of the goal to fight this out. Well, Oheb's too far. They're looking out for that Bruno, and they're looking out for that Faramis.
Oh, another reset, gentlemen. Lord here, back to full health.
Yeah, because of the minion waves crashing in, Echo can't push out that much either. They're just stuck with clearing.
You're gonna have to just clear.
Yeah, and just wait.
Okay, to be fair, this is the best shape their base has been.
Yep.
Yeah.
No minions have been in for the past maybe 30, 40 seconds.
Sanji did also just pick up that Divine Glaive, so you know he's going to be locked in. Benny Cutie as well, clearing Edward.
Oh!
Haji.
Massive.
Not going to be able to land that combination.
Okay, but Edward, look at him. If ever they commit the shortcut, does Benny Cutie know, or does Echo know that Edward might actually go for the gank play, the split push play?
Lord at an 8th, Lord at a 10th.
It looks like they're going to go in, go forward, shortcut going to be dropped in as well. Sensui will get the Lord, and the fight's going to break out all into it. Trying to give it down, RWM comes down. Benny Cutie in the mid lane still. Carl Teasy will go down, and Blacklist International will cut off Sanford, and they're looking for more. Sanji flickers in, but the Winter Tronchet keeps UA alive.
He's so
and now
deep.
Sanji just running from Edward, but they got the march down the mid, and Sanji can't go back to base. He bobs, he weaves, but the sword is too sharp, and now in the mid lane, Salmon Force gonna be used, but Benny Cutie will go down alongside JP, and Blacklist International will get the wipeout. They march down the mid to win the series in a reverse sweep against Echo.
A triumphant day for all agents worldwide. They take down one of the top dogs of MPL Philippines. They deny the no playoffs route for Echo tonight, and they secure their own playoff spot. Blacklist with a 2-1 victory. The reverse sweep secured.